So let's actually start talking about that ad. So do you want to like, since you created the entire video, do you want to like talk about, like, roughly describe what it was?
Right. So what do you call it? So what we launch our product is basically like it's a software. Okay, it's a website. It's like a web app. I guess you can say that's a bit too much, but yeah. So it's like a web app. I mean, and it's about educating people for mental health. I don't think that's giving away too much, right? So yeah,
No.
but it's about education and it's an online platform. But it's like you can't be the way I see it, the way when I envision this ad, if you want to change something, the perception of that thing, you can't just be doing the same old, a textbook, what ad that you see on TV type of thing. Everything's kind of been, I don't know. I'm pretty sure you know this as well, right? These, like, even people, how do you, like, you see those ads about Slack or Zoom or whatever. It's not like some boring here's a
Yeah.
copywriting about here's a business software. It's like, you
Yeah.
gotta make it more fun. You gotta make it more appeal to the masses, kind of thing. Yeah. And I guess for the record, we'll see. But I did get inspiration from Apple, so shouts out to the Apple advertising team on that one. Yeah.
Yeah. So just to get through, like, just to roughly describe, if you're like listening through Spotify or something, basically the ad, it starts off with like, like what we did in like 2 years ago. And then like it's text heavy, number heavy. And, it's like a lot of like popping. I don't know how to describe it. But
Yeah,
yeah,
it's
as
like
you mentioned,
we're
it's,
flexing numbers and stats.
yeah, flexing numbers and stats. And I don't know, maybe I could play a little bit of like the music.
Yeah, sure.
So this is like the music.
Yeah.
So roughly you get an idea of like how upbeat the
Yeah.
ad is. Which, okay, I get it. I get it. So as we mentioned, we're trying to develop this mental health organization. We're trying to make mental health better in Indonesia. And a lot of the comments that I got from, friends and everything, I think one of them mentioned, if you're promoting mental health, why is it so hype? Why is the ad so hype? And kaya, just to add a little bit bahasa Indonesia to it, she basically said, bukannya kayak kesehatan mental tuh seharusnya something kita take seriously. Okay. First of all, I understand where she's coming from. And I'm not offended or anything. Like, I'm not offended. I absolutely understand where she's coming from. I think from my point of view, it's kind of like, I don't know, it was a bit odd that I guess everything related to mental health is, it has to be somber music, it has to be mellow, it
Right.
has to be sad.
Exactly.
And as you mentioned, it's like we're trying to change the stigma and trying to like change the conversation surrounding it, and we can't just keep putting sadness. But I do understand. Like, I think we've talked about this a bit a few days ago, where it's like, I understand her perspective. It's like, why are you trying to hype depression? Why are you trying to hype anxiety? Because when you talk about mental health, that's what kind of like what you relate to. And in reality, what we're working on, our mental health organization, isn't just for that. It isn't just for like depression or anxiety or a specific mental health condition. It's actually
Right.
mental health in general. So we kind of relate it back to like physical health. Physical health, like if we are talking about cancer, of course you don't want it like super duper hype.
Yeah.
Or like if we're
Right.
talking about stroke or brain damage, of course we understand.
Yeah.
But if you're talking about physical health as a whole, and if you're trying to promote maintaining that physical health, like going to the gym, then you would promote it in a hype sense. And in a way, we did like do hype as in like dance music too much,
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, what is your opinion on that?
I feel like, I don't know. I feel like I guess the first thing to set clear is like our thing is not really like, like the other established, I guess, known mental health organizations tend to like zone into one thing, like depression, anxiety, and then that's
Yeah.
it. Ours is like umbrella mental health for the moment, right? So, it covers anything from like the more serious stuff to the like more like I don't know how
General.
do you
Yeah.
general slash gray area, like
Yeah.
general wellness and
Yeah.
stuff. So
And I
like
guess,
mindfulness.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I guess I understand because a lot of people are like, oh, but for people who maintain their mental health, so like the equivalent of going to the gym for your mental health, currently, roughly, it's meditating and like practicing mindfulness, doing yoga or something like that, or like those calm, peaceful. So then I guess what they were saying, like, it's like mental health is always related to like being calm and stuff.
Right.
But in reality, like exercise and stuff like that, like you can do that for your mental health. In fact, like
Exactly.
personally, I exercise for my mental health. Like it's rare that I would be like, I exercise for my physical health. I mean, yeah, it does have physical benefits, but what get me up in the morning is really because I know exercise is beneficial for our mental health. So I don't think like everything that we do, every ad or every video that we do has to be like sad music or, like, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, like the other way I say it is like, let's be real. Like, you want to launch something. It's like, I don't know. From my perspective, it's like this is something like we've worked on since the start, since the beginning. It's like it's a one of the long term type of thing, and then it's like yeah, I personally wanted to do it justice, and justice doesn't mean like doing some somber music ad that someone will just skip through. It's like, okay, cool story, bro, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Right? It's like,
and I
want it
think
to be
it's
eye-catching.
oh sorry, yeah, go on.
No, I think it should be like a bit more eye-catching, and
Yeah,
that's the whole purpose of an ad. The way I see it, right? You're supposed to grab attention.
I think like I think the biggest misunderstanding is that what we're working on is just specifically for like depression or anxiety, when in reality it's so much more than that. Mental health and your mental well-being is so much bigger than just those who suffer from depression or anxiety, and that's the audience that we're trying to reach. And I think like what we were promoting is an education platform, so it's like learning.
Exactly.
So like learning how to help your friend, learning about mental health, learning about things. And so I don't think it's like, of course, like we get it, like again going back, like we understand why she would say something like that. Like when we do like like someone telling their story, like their mental health journey, we don't make like hype music into that. Of course we put like softer music, like ambient music, but like we know there's a time and place, and we feel like we just didn't feel like a somber music was exactly the best suiting when we're like popping some stats and like our education platform.
That is true. All I'm saying, all I would say is that we did it for a reason, not for no reason. So
it's not like we just randomly put something. So and
I will say this. I did edit the video to another music, but lo and behold, using the same music that Apple uses on their ads is not the brightest idea.
Yes.
That will get your video strike the moment it gets uploaded.
But I felt like the music that we chose wasn't even like, it wasn't like we're promoting a nightclub party or something.
Yeah, no, for sure.
It's like it's like a pretty good suiting music.
I think it's alright. It's like it's a nice balance. It starts off like the way I did it, it's a bit of like, rising, and then it's like it's there, and then
I don't know. I guess like again, we understand like it's not something mental health organizations normally do. Like we acknowledge that. We acknowledge that mental health organizations would usually take the peaceful, sad ad route, but we're trying to normalize conversations surrounding mental health. We're trying to approach it differently, and I don't think it's like I don't think it's idolizing mental health conditions, and I don't think it's like not suited. Like I don't know. That's just my opinion.
I feel like I think I'm gonna be biased because I'm the one that edited, but it is the sweet spot. It's just there. And, timing wise, let's be real, it's COVID-19. There's a lot of stuff going on around the world. The last thing you need is another somber ad.
I understand. Yeah, exactly. But again,
and for the record, our marketing team did like it. So there you go.
So we did have the approval.
Yes, we did get the...
I mean, like, just again, we understand why people would still find it odd, because it's like, it's like an odd thing. But again, that's just like, this is our reply to it. It's just like, we're just trying something different.